Are you taking 5 milligrams Tadalafil every day, but feel like you're rolling the dice on its effectiveness? Some days, it works exactly as you'd hoped, providing confidence and spontaneity. On other days, it feels like you might as well have not taken it at all, leaving you frustrated and questioning if the treatment is even right for you. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone, and the reason for this inconsistency is likely something you've never been told. Most men get caught up in one simple question: should I take it in the morning or at night? They search online, ask friends, and try to find a universal, one-size-fits-all answer. But that very question is the first mistake. The debate between morning versus night completely misses the single most important factor that determines whether your daily Tadalafil treatment will be a success or a source of constant frustration. The secret isn't about a specific time of day. It's about a principle of consistency that is directly tied to how the medication works within your body. In this video, we're going to pull back the curtain on the science of Tadalafil, explain exactly why that fixed schedule is non-negotiable, and give you a practical, science-backed guide to finding the perfect, most effective time to take your dose. A schedule tailored not to a generic rule, but to your own body and lifestyle. What you're about to learn will change the way you approach your treatment forever. First things first, we need to dismantle the biggest myth surrounding the daily 5 milligrams dose. When most people think of erectile dysfunction medication, they picture the higher dose, on-demand pills like 10 milligrams or 20 milligrams of Tadalafil or other similar drugs, which are taken an hour or so before planned sexual activity. Those are event-based medications. They're designed to produce a powerful, focused effect that lasts for a specific window of time. You take it, it works, and then the effect fades. The 5 milligrams daily regimen is built on a completely different philosophy. It is not a performance pill that you time for a specific moment. Think of it instead as a background therapy, a continuous treatment protocol. The goal isn't to create a sudden, intense peak effect, but rather to methodically build and maintain a consistent, therapeutic level of the medication in your bloodstream, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. This constant level is what pharmacologists call a steady state. Achieving this steady state is the key to unlocking the two main benefits of the daily dose. For sexual function, it allows for true spontaneity. When the medication is always working quietly in the background, you are free from the pressure and psychological burden of planning intimacy. There's no more watching the clock or worrying if the pill has kicked in yet. This restores a crucial sense of normalcy and confidence that on-demand medications can't always provide. This principle is just as critical for its other primary use, treating the urinary symptoms of an enlarged prostate or BPH. Issues like a weak stream, frequent urination, or constantly feeling the need to go are not event-based problems. They are persistent, daily challenges. A stable level of Tadalafil provides continuous relief by relaxing the smooth muscles in the prostate and bladder. Taking it inconsistently would lead to fluctuating symptom control, defeating the very purpose of the therapy. So, before we even discuss timing, you must shift your mindset. The 5 milligrams pill isn't a quick fix. It's a foundation you are carefully building, one day at a time. And that foundation requires a crucial ingredient. So, why is taking your pill at the exact same time every single day the non-negotiable rule? The answer lies in a fundamental pharmacological concept called half-life. The half-life of a drug is simply the time it takes for your body to metabolize and eliminate half of the initial dose. Different drugs have vastly different half-lives. Some, like certain pain relievers, have a half-life of just a few hours, which is why you need to take them multiple times a day to maintain their effect. Tadalafil's superpower, and the very reason it's so well-suited for daily use, is its remarkably long half-life, approximately 17.5 hours. Let's break down what that means in a practical sense. When you take your 5 milligrams dose, the full amount is in your system. After 17.5 hours have passed, you still have about 2.5 milligrams active in your bloodstream. After another 17.5 hours, a total of 35 hours, you'd still have 1.25 milligrams. This slow, gradual decline is the key. Now, let's use an analogy. Imagine your body is a water reservoir, and the therapeutic level, the amount of water needed for the system to work perfectly, is to keep it at least halfway full at all times. The Tadalafil pill is the water you add each day. Your body's natural metabolism is like a slow, constant drain on that reservoir. On day 1, you take your first 5 milligrams pill and fill the reservoir to the top. Thanks to the long half-life, 24 hours later, when it's time for your next dose, the reservoir hasn't emptied. It has drained slowly, but it's still significantly full. Let's say about 40% of the initial dose remains. On day 2, when you take your second pill at the exact same time, you aren't starting from zero. You're adding a new 5 milligrams dose on top of the 40% that was already there. The level in the reservoir now rises higher than it did on day 1. This process is called accumulation. You repeat this on day 3, day 4, and day 5. Each day, you add your new dose to a slightly higher remaining amount from the day before. The lowest point the water level reaches just before you take your next pill, the trough level, gets progressively higher each day. After about 5 days of this disciplined, consistent dosing, something incredible happens. The reservoir reaches a state of equilibrium, or the steady state we mentioned earlier. At this point, the amount of the drug your body metabolizes and drains over a 24-hour period is almost exactly equal to the 5 milligrams dose you are adding. This means your Tadalafil level is no longer making big swings. Instead, it fluctuates within a very narrow, consistent, and highly effective therapeutic window. This is the ultimate goal of the daily therapy. It's in this steady state that the medication can provide a reliable, predictable, round-the-clock effect, giving you the freedom and confidence the treatment promises. Consistency isn't just a good habit, it's the scientific instruction manual for making this drug work as intended. Now that you understand the ideal, that calm, steady state, let's look at the chaotic reality of inconsistent use. What happens when you take your pill at 8 a.m. on Monday, forget on Tuesday morning and take it at 10 p.m., and then remember again at noon on Wednesday? You don't just get a slightly weaker effect. You create what I call the Tadalafil roller coaster, complete with jarring peaks and terrifying drops. Let's go back to our reservoir analogy. An inconsistent schedule is like adding water at random times. Sometimes, you add a dose when the reservoir is still quite full, causing it to overflow. This is the peak. When you take 2 doses too close together, for instance, taking Monday's pill in the evening and Tuesday's pill the very next morning, your blood concentration spikes to a level higher than intended for a daily regimen. This sudden peak doesn't give you a super effect. What it does is significantly increase your risk of experiencing side effects. This is when you're more likely to get that nagging headache, facial flushing, indigestion, or back pain. You're getting all the potential downsides without any additional therapeutic benefit. Even more problematic, however, are the valleys. This is the part of the roller coaster that truly sabotages your results. Let's say you take your pill at 8 a.m. one morning, but the next day you don't take it until 10 p.m. You've now created a 38-hour gap between doses. During that extended period, the drain on your reservoir has been working nonstop. By the time you finally take your next pill, the drug level in your body has had far too long to decline. It inevitably drops well below the effective therapeutic threshold. During this window, which could be several hours long, the medication is essentially inactive. This is the exact scenario that leads to that frustrating unpredictability. It's the reason you might feel great confidence on a Tuesday, but on Thursday, the effect is disappointingly absent. You may have unknowingly created a valley right when you needed the support most. The worst part of this roller coaster is the psychological toll. You start to lose faith in the treatment. You might think your body is reacting strangely, or that the medication has simply stopped working for you. In reality, it's often not the medication that's failing. It's the inconsistent schedule that is preventing it from ever reaching its full, stable potential. You're turning a reliable, continuous therapy into a guessing game, and that's a game you're bound to lose. So, how do you get off the roller coaster and find the optimal, rock-solid schedule for you? It's a simple, 2-step process. Forget everything you've heard about a magic time of day and focus on this. Step 1. Embrace the golden rule of consistency. The single best time of day to take Tadalafil is the time of day you know, without a shadow of a doubt, you can stick to every single day. This is not about pharmacology. It's about psychology and habit building. Your life, your routine, and your personal discipline are the primary factors here. The goal is to make taking your pill as automatic and thoughtless as brushing your teeth. To do this, you need to anchor the new habit to an existing one. Look at your daily routine. What is one thing you do at the same time every day, no matter what? Is it your morning coffee? Your breakfast? The moment you put your keys on the counter after work? Pick one of these unbreakable daily rituals and attach your Tadalafil dose to it. Keep your pill bottle right next to your coffee maker, your cereal box, or your toothbrush holder. This physical proximity creates a powerful visual cue that transforms the task from something you have to remember into something that's simply part of an established sequence. Then, add a digital safety net. Take out your phone right now and set a daily, recurring alarm labeled "Take Pill." Don't just rely on habit alone, especially in the beginning. Life gets busy, routines get disrupted, and it's easy to forget. An alarm is an impartial reminder that cuts through the chaos and holds you accountable. The combination of habit stacking and a digital alarm is the most effective strategy for building the unwavering consistency that this medication requires. Whether you choose 7 a.m. or 7 p.m. is far less important than your ability to hit that exact time every single day without fail. Step 2. Fine-tune your schedule based on side effects. Once you've established a consistent time and have been taking it for at least a week, you can move on to this optimization step. While most men tolerate the 5 milligrams dose very well, some experience mild side effects. How your body responds can help you fine-tune your schedule for maximum comfort. Let's look at the most common scenarios. Some men experience digestive-related side effects, like indigestion, acid reflux, or heartburn. These tend to occur as the medication reaches its peak concentration in the blood, which is a few hours after you take it. If this is your primary side effect, taking your dose in the evening, perhaps an hour or two before bed, can be an excellent strategy. By doing this, the peak of the effect occurs while you are asleep. You essentially sleep through the period of potential discomfort, and by morning, the peak has passed, leaving you to enjoy the therapeutic benefits throughout the day without the associated inconvenience. On the other hand, some men experience side effects like nasal congestion, facial flushing, or muscle and back aches. These can be particularly disruptive if they interfere with sleep. If you find that a stuffy nose or a sore back is keeping you up at night, the opposite strategy is likely better. Try taking your dose first thing in the morning. This way, the peak of these effects will occur during the day when you are active and moving around, and they will likely be less noticeable. By the time you go to bed, the peak concentration will have subsided, allowing for a more restful night's sleep. Remember, this is a secondary adjustment. The golden rule of consistency always comes first. Choose your anchor time. Stick to it religiously, and only then should you consider shifting it from morning to evening, or vice versa, to better manage any side effects. This two-step method puts you in control, allowing you to build a treatment plan that is not only effective, but also perfectly aligned with your body's unique response. Building the right habits is half the battle. Avoiding the common pitfalls is the other half. Even with the best intentions, a few simple mistakes can completely derail your treatment. Here are the most common errors that sabotage Tadalafil's effectiveness and how to steer clear of them. 1. The "I'll take it when I remember" trap. This is the number one destroyer of the daily Tadalafil protocol. Treating it like a vitamin you might occasionally forget is a recipe for failure. As we've established, this habit directly creates the roller coaster of peaks and valleys, leading to inconsistent results and the false conclusion that the medicine isn't working. You must treat it with the same seriousness as any other prescription medication critical to your health. 2. The danger of the may-up dose. What happens if you genuinely forget a dose? Let's say you take it at 8 a.m. daily, but one day you completely forget and only realize it the next morning, just as you're about to take your next scheduled pill. A common instinct is to take 2 pills at once to catch up. This is a major mistake. Doubling your dose from 5 milligrams to 10 milligrams doesn't double the effectiveness. It dramatically increases your blood concentration to a level that significantly raises the risk of side effects like severe headaches, dizziness, or a sudden drop in blood pressure. The The correct course of action is to simply skip the forgotten dose and get back on track with your next scheduled one. One missed dose will cause a temporary dip, but it's far better than the potential negative effects of an overdose. 3. The grapefruit juice interaction. This one is less known but critically important. Grapefruit and its juice contain compounds that interfere with the CYP3A4 enzyme in your liver, which is one of the main pathways your body uses to metabolize tadalafil. Consuming grapefruit can inhibit this enzyme, causing the medication to be broken down more slowly. This leads to higher than intended levels of tadalafil in your bloodstream, essentially creating an overdose effect and increasing the risk of side effects. It's best to avoid grapefruit products entirely while on this treatment. 4. Treating the daily dose as a pre-game boost. Some men, out of habit or anxiety, will take their daily 5 milligrams pill an hour or two before they anticipate sexual activity, thinking it will provide an extra kick. This completely misunderstands the purpose of the daily protocol. When you're at a steady state, the medication is always working. Taking it at a different time offers no additional benefit and only disrupts the consistent schedule you're trying to build. 5. Giving up too soon. It takes about 5 half-lives for a drug to reach its steady state, which for tadalafil is roughly 5 days. Many men take it for 2 or 3 days, don't feel a dramatic, immediate effect like they would with a high-dose pill, and wrongly conclude it's not working. You must give the medication at least a full week of consistent, daily use at the same time to allow it to build up to its effective therapeutic level before you can accurately judge its results. Patience and discipline are your greatest allies here. Let's bring it all together. The journey to making your daily tadalafil treatment a resounding success isn't about chasing a magical cure or finding a secret trick. It's about understanding and respecting the simple, powerful science of consistency. We've learned that the 5 milligrams daily dose is not an on-demand fix. It's a continuous therapy designed to maintain a steady, reliable level of medication in your system. We've seen how its long half-life is the very reason why a fixed, disciplined schedule is the only way to achieve that crucial steady state. The most important takeaway is this: the best time to take tadalafil is not a specific hour on the clock that works for everyone. The best time is the time that you can commit to, day in and day out, without fail. That is your foundation. From there, you can intelligently fine-tune your schedule, moving it from morning to evening or vice versa, to minimize any potential side effects and maximize your personal comfort. By applying this knowledge, you shift from being a passive pill taker to an active, informed participant in your own health, transforming an inconsistent experience into a reliable and empowering one. So, that's the blueprint for making daily tadalafil as effective as possible by focusing on the science of consistency. But I also know that for many of you, relying on a daily pill isn't the end goal. You might be looking for a more natural approach, one that aims to address the root causes of these issues, not just manage the symptoms. I recently came across a fascinating story from a man who was on the brink of losing everything until he discovered a bizarrely simple, all-natural, purple hardening tonic that he says completely restored his erections to be stronger and more powerful than they were in his 20s. His detailed presentation explains how this method works to shut down the boner killer enzyme in your body for good. If you're interested in hearing his story and learning about this powerful natural fix, I've linked his full, in-depth presentation. You can watch it now by pointing your phone's camera at the QR code on your screen. Or you can find the link pinned at the very top of the comments section below. Now, with that said, if this video has helped clarify how to get the most out of your treatment, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the video reach more people who need this information. For more straightforward, science-backed health content, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. And finally, I'd be interested to hear about your own experiences in the comments below. Have you struggled with consistency? Did you find that a specific time worked better for you? Sharing your journey can be incredibly helpful for others in this community. Thanks for watching, and here's to your health.